Well, hello and happy Monday. Welcome to the break room. I hope that your day has gone well, and I'm so glad that you're here tuning in with me. And if you're watching the replay, I would love to hear where you're tuning in from. And those of you that are here with me live, I would love to see where you are tuning in from. All right, so the housekeeping, we are streaming live on YouTube as well as on Facebook. So for my YouTube family, go ahead and subscribe to the channel, like this video, and share with a friend who you feel could benefit from what we discuss on today. Also, click on the notification bell and you'll be alerted when a new video or a live stream is posted. And here on Facebook, do the same. Go ahead and like this video or this live stream and share with someone else. So those of you that this is your first time coming to the break room, welcome. And those of you that are returning, so glad to have you back. Again, and remember to put in the chat where you are tuning in from. So my name is Deetra Dennis, and I am the self-care coach for nurses. And why for nurses? I feel that I've been a registered nurse for 29 years, and I feel impressed upon to empower my fellow sisters to make their most valuable patient, which is themselves, priority in caring for you, showing up for you so that you can present yourself as the best version of yourself. And in doing that, it impacts everyone around you, your family and your community. So that is why I am here of service to you. And the break room is your self-care safe space. This is where you can come and escape from the day-to-day activities and have a little moment so that you can regroup and set your intentions and set the tone for your week. So that is what we're doing here. And as you saw in the description, we're talking about the pain of nurse burnout. Now, I know many of you know that burnout has been around a long time for nurses. And I know the past couple of years, it has intensified because of, the pandemic and things that have been going on. Since the past 2 years, but there was a survey done by Medscape to really see how severe the burnout was with nurses. And they surveyed over 9,000, I think it was about 9,500 nurses, and listened to the statistics that came up about it. And what they found that there were 4 major contributors to burnout. And the top one was negative feelings. And so the question was that they said that asked the nurses if they had experienced any of a multitude of positive or negative feelings in the past 14 days. And the top 10 feelings experienced were all negative. And that to me saddens me that all of the feelings were negative. And of those, 6 of these were at the top. So stressed, 75%. Frustrated, 68%, exhausted, 67%, overwhelmed, 62%, anxious, 58%, and overworked, 51%. And as I was looking at those and thinking back to a time in my life where all 6 of those resonated with me, and I feel like I felt all 6 of them at one time. Anyone can relate to that. And again, if you're watching this on the replay, I would love to hear your response as well, because this is about a dialogue between us. So I would love to hear feedback from you. Now, this is where the side effects, if you will, of burnout comes to play. And I consider it a pain. And so sleep issues, that was 68%. And I remember for me, again, during a stressful time, or how I reacted or responded to stress at that time, yes, sleep. I could not sleep. I wasn't getting enough sleep. And when you have sleep deprivation, a lot of things can happen, overeating, that was 43%. And I can say the same thing for me. That was my coping mechanism for stress, was eating the wrong things, making the wrong food choices. Potato chips was my weakness. And so if I was at work, it was having the potato chips. I'm going to the vending machine, getting those potato chips. I don't know about you, but yes, potato chips, the salty was my thing. The other things were relationship issues was 27%. Oversleeping was 22%, and alcohol consumption was 20%. So, again, those are some things that, as a result of burnout, this is what the nurses responded. And I'm not sure if this is something that resonates with you. Are some of those symptoms, where some of those results sound like you? I was going to say raise your hand, but put it in the chat if any of that resonates with you. So, I can't leave you there at that point. Positive feelings, we talked about them having the negative feelings, but positive feelings can counterbalance stressful experiences. And so changing the emphasis from struggle to thriving. And that is what we want to do by changing our perception and perspective of our stressors or our stressful experiences. And I know I mentioned last week, and probably have mentioned many times before, that I went through a resilience coaching program. And that really helped me when I was in those, stuck in this space of, stressed out, burned out, or might I say burnt out. That resilience training really, really helped me in changing how I look at things. And one of the quotes that come to mind is by Wayne Dyer, and it says, if you change the way you look at things, the things you look at change. And really what that is reframing. And are you familiar with that? Being able to reframe how you look at things, even in a stressful situation. And so it's an opportunity to step back and really, take a high level view of what's going on instead of, right here in front of you. And so I want to share with you 3 benefits of positive reframing. And so one is that it reduces stress. It reduces stress. And so it's really like, and I know how it felt for me after going through that resilience training or coaching program. It was like changing the way I looked at things. It really lifted a burden off of my shoulders, because not sure if you're aware, when you start thinking of something negative more, it's like a downward spiral of that negative feeling or negative emotions. And so being able to look at it differently, it really lightens you up. And so that is one, again, reducing stress. Another one is a natural gratefulness. Natural gratefulness. I know you're saying, how can you be grateful when it's a time of high stress? Well, I'm glad you asked. So when you really embrace looking at things differently, you want to find a bit of good in something, even in dark times. And being able to do that, gratitude is a great multiplier. So if you have, just how we talked about last with the negative emotions and negative feelings, it's like a downward spiral of all the negative things. And conversely, if you find the good and find gratitude in things, you have more things of which to be grateful. So I like to take it to the scripture on this one. And you've probably heard it like this: in everything, give thanks, for this is the will of God concerning you. Now, in the Living Bible, it says, no matter what happens, always be thankful. And that is God's will for those who belong to Christ Jesus. And that is 1 Thessalonians 5:18. So again, finding gratitude or a natural gratefulness. This is what positive reframing does for us. And the last one is it improves relationships. I know you're like, okay, now what in the world does this have to do with me being a nurse? everything, because like I mentioned before, my desire is that by empowering you to show up as your best self, it impacts everyone in your life. And so even again, when we are in stressed out moments, I know my experience. When I was stressed out, it seems like every little thing danced on my last nerve. But when you switch that and you have the positive reframing, you have an opportunity again to impact your family. And so when you do that and you change your perspective, which is the attitude of things, you become more joyful to be around. Right? Who wants to be around someone who is stressed out and you just short and you just curt with everybody? Listen, anyone can relate to that. When you're stressed out, it's like everything dance on your last nerve. Yeah. So again, those are the three things that I mentioned. Three benefits of positive reframing. One is reduce your stress. It's number two is natural gratefulness or natural gratitude. And then lastly, it improves your relationships. And so again, going back to, like I said, with the coaching, when I went through the resilience coaching, and that was in 2016 when I went through that. But to this day, I still utilize those tools and techniques, because it doesn't mean that stressors do not come about. Stressors come, but you are able to deal with it effectively and respond appropriately to those stressors. And so that is why I created the workshop, How to Become a Stress Hardy Nurse. And that hardiness is a pillar of resilience. And so this is something I really wish that we had in nursing school. And I know many of the schools, and I am a part of the American College of Lifestyle Medicine, and I'm a part of the registered nurse member interest group. And these are some things that, they're starting to implement in a lot of nursing schools about lifestyle medicine. And so again, I really, really wish back then, 29 years ago, that this was a part of our curriculum, or even as a new nurse, being able to help how to respond effectively, because we know that in nursing, it doesn't matter what aspect of nursing you work in, it is stressful. It is a stressful role, because you have a person's health in your hand and you can impact it directly or indirectly, depending on your role. And so it is a stressful job. And so knowing how to effectively deal with stress really would help set us up for success in this career and for longevity in the career. Do you agree with me on that? And again, if you're watching this on the replay, I would love to hear feedback from you on this. I don't want to be hanging out here by myself on this, because it is a major issue, as we see with the statistics of burnout among our nurses. And so, again, so the workshop is coming up, How to Become a Stress Hardy Nurse workshop. It is free. And it's going to be Thursday, October 6th at 7 o'clock. And hi, Lisa. Thank you. Yes, absolutely. It will be 7 o'clock p.m. Eastern. It is 90 minutes. And I will place that is that. And then I'm going to, at the end, I'll put it in the chat so you can have that too. Let's see if I can paste it there. Not able to, but anyway, I will have it there for you to sign up for the workshop. And I would love for you to be a part of it, because it's truly a workshop now. It's not just going to be me talking. It is going to be us going through really identifying where we are, because the nursing process is in everything that we do these days. I feel like after graduating from nursing school and learning the nursing process, I apply the nursing process to everything that I do, not just in nursing, but in everything, using the nursing process. So we're going to be doing that during the workshop and really helping us in living a life I consider of calm and ease. And I know since 2016 that has been my life. Doesn't mean that I haven't had stressors, be it in the work area, in business, or in my personal life. The stressors have been there, but I have those tools and techniques that I learned from my coaching to really help me in uh, maneuvering, I'll say, if you will, in those stressful situations or experiences that have occurred in my life. And so, are there any questions? Hi, Lisa. Thank you so much. Lisa said this is such valuable information. Thank you, Lisa, for being here, and I appreciate that because I feel that nursing is a calling. It is not just a career; it is a calling, and I feel even as a nurse coach or a nurse entrepreneur, I still feel that it is a calling and it is an opportunity to be of service. And so I am here now to serve my fellow sisters because it's so important for us to take care of ourselves so that we can show up as our best selves to those that are assigned to our care. And so thank you so much for that. Now, are there any questions from anyone or any ahas or any jewels or gems that come to mind of things that I've talked about? Or even some of the experience that I talked about, about being stressed, the different signs of burnout or the side effects of burnout, anything that comes to mind? All right. And I love to have a quote at the end. So this is our quote for today. So reframing empowers you to take negative thoughts related to a problem and convert them into positive solutions. So if there are any questions or comments, I would love to see you in the workshop coming up on October 6th. And then I will see you on next Monday. Enjoy the rest of your day and have a wonderful week.